I'm going to pick 2 colonies or maybe 4 colonies that are basically the same size. I'm going to start with some control colonies here. On the syrup. And they are a full box of these. So I see pollen coming in. So I imagine what I'm going to see in this nest is if the queen had stopped laying over the last 5 days because of the cold weather, and if the bees had stopped developing out those eggs, developing out that brood nest, if not pulling back a bit, if that has happened, I expect it to start up again because, well, they've had syrup here and there's an inflow of pollen, a bit of a stimulant. So I just want to see if there is any difference between a colony that I put into that cold weather, it was developing into the cold weather with no protein, if I see any measurable difference to a colony that I've fed like 1.5 pounds, maybe even 3 pounds up to this date. Here's some brood on this frame, some cap brood in the center, and I'm looking at all stages of larvae. Mature larvae, nicely hatched eggs, and eggs. Nicely rimmed, so nice developed brood nest, younger as we go out. Same on this side, just a beautiful little brood nest. Clunk, and then rimming that is mature larvae and eggs out to where the syrup or nectar starts. Here's a frame that's emerging. Oh, this is a nice little nest. So I'm looking at probably winter brood here. These are young bees coming out. And she's following behind with eggs. And then you can see the rim of brood here. All the way around that winter nest brood. And then around that, eggs. Right to the edges. This frame's a little bit dry. This side's emerging, but no eggs. There's some in, yeah, there's some eggs around the corners. Lots of brood going on. Nicely established. So here's a chunk of brood right in the center. The center of it's emerging. And there's just eggs around it. And the eggs in the middle of it. It's a nice brood frame. The center has emerged. Eggs in it. And eggs around it. Here's a frame, a little bit of brood in the center, eggs, 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 eggs. This side, a little bit of brood in the center, eggs. A little bit of mature larvae, not much. Eggs, 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 eggs. Starting to see, we'll go one more frame here. And we're getting into feed. Boy, she's all over the place with eggs. A little bit of mature larvae in here. And they're doing a little bit of drone brooder in the center. So I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of capped brood. I'm seeing a lot of eggs. I'm seeing some brood that's all stages, but not a lot of it. So I want to compare that to some patty fed colonies. Let's see. Here's a nice one here. Not really on the syrup. Probably because they're heavy. Looking at bees covering all the frames, but I don't think they're a box of bees. They're a good bunch of honey in this colony. Let's call this one a 6-framer. There she is. Gee whizzikers. First frame. We have some drone brood, which they cannibalized. I'm just going to set her to the side here. That's the first cannibalized brood I've seen so far. So some of that drone brood. The side is nothing but pollen. She's exploring out on the outside edges. Why would she be out there? Let's take a look. Slab of brood. Surrounded by eggs. Here's a bit of brood surrounded by eggs. Nice brood frame. That is capped brood surrounded by eggs. Beautiful brood frame. This is the old winter nest here, it's emerging. That's filled up with eggs. This is freshly capped brood and then mature larvae. Slab of brood surrounded by mature larvae, stretching the eggs to the honey. Whack! There's a nice frame of brood. These guys are going to explode this week. We have all stages of brood, with capped brood, mature larvae, eggs, and eggs all the way to the outside. They get the boxes ready. Here's a frame with just nicely developed larvae. this whole frame has hatched. And this side is mature larvae, a little bit of sac brood there. We have cap brood and mature larvae all the way out to here. Okay, we're getting into honey. One more frame of brood. Nope, we got honey. Oh yeah, this side's all open brood. That whole side's open brood. Very nice. Okay, they're off balance a bit. So there you go, an assessment between control colonies without the patties and my patty fed colonies. And we just finished going through like 5 or 6 days of cold weather. You're gonna take my word for my observations. Just take this all at face value. It's very hard, like everything's so subjective. Every colony is set up a little bit differently. Maybe some have more pollen in it, some maybe don't have any pollen. Some have a younger, fresher queen, some don't. It's just trying to find the common thread, the commonality, the common theme and the feel of the nest we're going through. I was seeing more brood of all ages in the patty fed colonies. In the control colonies, I was seeing cap brood and lots of eggs. So the jury's out a little bit whether or not the patty was most beneficial. It did show some difference between the non-fed to the fed by at least 4 or 5 days of development. And if that's going to matter a damn in the whole scheme of things, I doubt it. But I'm thinking maybe it would if we had another cold system fall upon us within the next few days. Continual development, no stress, where these colonies here kind of interrupted their development. I wouldn't say they're stressed though. They still had some open brood going on. They were still chugging along. It's just there's an interruption in brood laying. So I don't know. That 5 days of interrupted brood laying, is it worth the money? Well, what can I say? Feels like November. We just got rid of that snowpack and we're building another one. So far we haven't got the foot of snow, so hopefully this is just to end off the system. We'll see what comes. The snow's not so bad. It's only -1. It's what's going to come after it which is going to cause the trouble. We're talking, what, I think 3 nights now of -10 or colder. That is not good. It's going to tighten these clusters up. They're going to be without flight into kind of that cold state for about a week. And this is textbook dwindle. We are going to see some problems because of this, the cold weather. And I just set them out just absolutely perfectly this spring. They had just masterful flight. What's going to happen is these nests have just started gearing up for spring, building these springtime nests that queens kind of pushed their boundaries a little bit with their egg laying. And I'm afraid with the cold weather that's going to come through, their bees are going to suck it up just like that and then start again. Problem with starting again is that time clock just tick, 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 tick. And if there's not enough bees within these colonies, then they're just going to dwindle. They're going to fall below that threshold of population and just basically dwindle to death. This patty is gone. Just the paper left. Damn, damn, damn. More protein. So that's 2 pounds. These big colonies. Just when you think you have things planned out properly, bees wait for no one. Both those need more protein. Put on 2 about a week ago. I thought that would have been enough, but I thought it was going to be around this week too. I have to stop cracking lids. So what I should have done is the medium-sized colonies like this, I should have given 2 pounds, and the large colonies I should have given 3 pounds. Because they are going to run out of patty. Oh, they're on the syrup. Done like dinner.